How about a little flower of the week here today? And had a friend, Spur Watson, here for almost the entire week. So we've been spending a lot of time talking about flowers, different flowers. And this one came up in our discussion. So I thought I'd show it to you folks here. Called an Easter lily. And so let's get that main construction line going here, and build on that. So an Easter lily is normally I think about a 6-petaled flower, but could be more than that. You could make it more than that without any problem. So all kinds of different ways. I think I don't know if this is anatomically or botanically correct, I guess would be the word, but the way this part of the flower, this lower part of the flower is configured right here, it seems like we had some kind of leaf structure right here on that part, but you can put that in or not, either way. But I know some of these petal structures, though, often they're kind of curled around. So anyway, that's just a real quick sketch. And of course, once again, that's all built on this main construction line right here. So let's build that out on this piece of case leather that I've had ready to go for a week or more. So you could mark off where each of these petals will be going. And that part of the flower, respecting, once again, that main construction line. So that would mean that this line, our curve, is going the same way right there. So okay, let's grab a Chuck Smith knife. As is always the case, the depth of my cuts corresponds with what will later be the depth of my beveling. So little stem structure coming out right there with a little bit of a swell right there. And there we go. Get some ballast to put on here. And of course, these two petals right here are foremost. So we'll do those first. The old Stolman rule that we bevel the foremost objects first. I'd say probably 95% of the time that's what I try to do. Occasionally I'll run into a situation I might make a little bit of an exception, but for the most part that's what I try to honor, is that guideline, if you will. Once again, I'm not cutting hard to the point of these, or at least I'm trying not to. I would prefer not to, and then therefore I'm not beveling hard to the ends, the points of those petals right there. Okay. Next, grab this little craft tool. you know, I'm going to use something a little heavier. This is a big enough flower. This is a Craft Tool 366, and it's been modified like many of mine are. It's a coarse, kind of a camouflage type of tool, I guess. I think I've used this before on demonstrations. If I can pull this off. Shading right down the middle, right down the middle of these petals, leaving something, some kind of a untooled, unshaded area on the outside edges of these petals. So what do I mean by that? It just means that I'm going down the center of these and leaving a rim rather than mashing it all the way across each one of those. And yeah, truth is, I'm not too happy with how things are looking here on these foremost petals. I'm gonna do something I don't often do, but come in and there, that helped that. Go a little heavier. Get into a groove here this morning. Yeah, I like that a little better. So let's grab my beveler again. And one thing about these lilies, look at the real Easter lilies, and they've got this kind of a long, what they call it, pistil and stamen coming out of the center of it. So I'm not sure if I've actually ever done that way. It just seems to kind of complicate things and needlessly, I think, with the way this flower works. So I've done something a little different. I guess that's what we would call artistic license, where we kind of impose our will for the sake of design on different flowers and stems and that sort of thing. Okay. Grab a little longer beveler here for these longer, straighter cuts, long arcs. Okay, beveling done. All right, what I might do here. This is kind of calling for a little bit of an undercut. I'm going to reach one of my really big undercut beveler. Don't use it very often here, so. And then, so this is smooth cedar. This is modifying things from what the actual lily is, as per what I said a moment ago. Seems to be an effective way to shade those. So got a line shader with a craft tool. And let's come in here. My little veiner that I've used on a lot of different sized stems and so on and so forth, and it's just been my go-to tool. Very, very fine deal that I've used on really small flowers. And let's see, one thing I noticed about an Easter lily, this part of the flower, daffodils I think are kind of the same way. They may be even somehow in the same family. So it's kind of got these lined shading here, little lines separated. They come in heavy and then out lighter. And let's like to shade the bottom part of that just to darken it a little bit, leaving a rim around that part. Alright, we're getting down to the end of this. The thing about this flower doesn't really call for any undercut beveling, other than maybe that little, those foremost petals to create a little bit of a bowl in there. About the only undercut beveling. And if you didn't do that, I don't think we'd be any worse for the wearer. But so swivel cuts. So on this type of petal structure, I usually come in and just cut around here to frame up those. Kind of add a little decoration, but sort of frames up each one of these petals. And there we have it. Background a little bit around that, and there's our Easter lily.